But every Tuesday I come live, I give you some value. If you don't know who I am in the group, my name is Tanya Danielle. I help people who emotionally eat, I help people who binge eat, people who have poor body image, yo-yo dieters, stress eaters, people who turn to food. So I really wanted to talk about like suppressing hunger. Oh, and you like my lumberjack shirt? I'm like, oh my god. Anyway, so I really wanted to talk about like suppressing hunger because quite often, in fact, all of the time, what happens is when we are either binge eating or emotionally eating or we are turning to food, there is always an element of we are trying to suppress hunger. And it's like we want to ignore hunger. We do not want it to be there. We don't want to feel any type of physical hunger. And then what happens is we can feel emotional hunger. And then also what can happen is we can feel lots of different feelings when we binge. But before that happens, what happens is we do not recognize our body's signs and signals. So I really want to kind of like, this is what generally people do. People generally wait until they are really hungry to eat, right? They wait till they are really hungry and they completely ignore any of the signs and signals that say they are hungry. Now, because they've been dieting for such a long time, what can happen is their body is shut down on them. Their body doesn't trust them, and their body doesn't trust that they will feed. Their body doesn't trust that it will get fed. So what happens is the body signs and signals stops responding. The body stops talking to the person, right? So for example, the body stops telling you you are hungry. So again, quite often what happens is people can be doing intermittent fasting, they can be doing diets, they can be doing restrictions, they can be doing juicing, whatever type of diet they are doing, they always want to say, no, I'm not hungry, right? And then what happens is, like I said a minute ago, what happens is the body stops telling you, oh, no, I don't want to stop the live. The body stops telling you when it is hungry because you are not listening to it. Because you are not feeding the body when it's telling you it's hungry, the body then stops talking to you. So it's almost like a big gap. The gap is getting bigger and bigger and bigger between the trust between your body and your mind and your body and how you respond to food. So that trust is getting, it's a bit like a relationship. If somebody's been in a relationship and somebody's cheated, what happens, right? At first, the relationship, they were really tight, they trusted each other, they knew that, you know, neither of those was going to go behind each other's back, so they really felt trust in the relationship, right? Then what happens, bear in mind this is like the body in food. So then what happens is one person cheats in the relationship, yeah? The other person decides to stay in that relationship, but it doesn't trust that person, right? So then what happens is the person cheats and the trust goes bump. There's no trust at all in that relationship. The person who cheated the person who's been cheated on does not trust the person who did the cheating, right? That trust is gone. You know, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying a relationship can't work like that, but especially at the initial stages, the trust is gone. They might rebuild it because trust takes time to build, but initially there's a lot of hurt, there's a lot of upset, and that trust is gone, right? So it takes time for that trust to come back together, right? For that relationship to work. That is if they don't split up, right? But if that person, the two people want to work it out and they want to stay together and they want to rebuild that trust, it takes a long period of time for those two people to reconnect that trust that they once had. And that's if they ever had it in the first place, which I'm assuming they will go back to where they was in the first place, should I say. So what happens is, over time, they rebuild and rebuild and rebuild that trust. And this is the same with your body and food. So why I'm telling you that story about relationships, because it's exactly the same. So what happens is, this is you when you were born, right? You had that trust between your body and food. Again, this is you when you were a baby, right? And your body knew that it was going to get fed. Yeah, it trusted you. It trusted you was going to get fed because either your mum fed you or you were getting food, right? So you were getting food as a child and your body trusted you was going to feed it. Then what happens is, as a teenager, as we grow up, you know, we then start to get body conscious or whatever happens, or we feel self-conscious about our body, and it might even be as a child. We maybe got a critical parent, we maybe have comments from our families. All these things can happen that can make us want to go on a diet, right? So then what happens is we go on a diet, and then the body, we then choose to ignore our body. We choose to ignore what our body is saying. So then what happens is we choose to listen to a diet. So we're listening to an external resource. So we are listening to a diet, we are listening to a PT, we are listening to someone at school, depending on our age. We are listening to somebody at work, we're listening to Weight Watchers, Slimming World, whatever it is. We are not listening to our body, right? So this is the same thing that happens with our body and food. Our body does not trust us to feed it, right? It gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So the trust between our body and food gets more and more, gets wider and wider apart, right? And then what happens is the body doesn't trust you to feed it. And when the body doesn't trust you to feed it, then what happens? We binge, right? We binge, we turn to food, we eat on an evening, we eat too much. We then, after we've eaten too much, we are full of guilt, shame, regret. We beat ourselves up, we self-loathe, we hate ourselves, we hate what we see in the mirror, we don't like what we look like, we call ourselves names, right? And this is where it all stems from. It stems all from trying to suppress hunger, ignoring our body's natural signs and signals to tell us when we are hungry, right? Because once we have ignored those body signs and signals, and we've ignored them for many, many years, our body doesn't trust us. It doesn't trust us that we will act upon those feelings. It doesn't trust us that we will act upon those signs and signals, so it stops communicating to us. Has anybody been in a situation where you've started eating and then you feel even hungrier, right? Or you can smell food and all of a sudden you feel really hungry because you haven't allowed yourself to eat. Maybe you're fasting or something like that. But this is what is happening. Your body, you are not allowing yourself, if you are not giving yourself the food that your body wants and needs, and you are trying to suppress hunger, the body will stop telling you. It will stop speaking to you. It will have a disconnect. And this is why you binge eat. And this is one of the reasons why you binge eat. I'm not saying this is the reason. This is one of the reasons why you binge eat. Because the body stops trusting you to feed it, right? And the crazy thing is, we all try and suppress hunger, but actually hunger is life. Food is life. If we didn't have food, we wouldn't survive, right? It's like not having water, right? Food is life. So actually, we really, really want to respect hunger, but we want to recognize that the body needs the food before we think we are hungry. Because, like I said, when we've been dieting for such a long time, we only recognize hunger when we get to the extreme, right? We get to the, oh my goodness me, I am so hungry, I am starving. And when we get to that point, then what happens? We go, oh my goodness me, I could eat, right? And we eat that much, right? We eat so much, we then beat ourselves up afterwards. So this is just a really, really, really quick reminder. Please feed your body. Don't try not to, I don't like the word saying don't, but try not to wait until you are absolutely starving. Because at this moment in time, if you are trying to stop binge eating, you will not recognize your own signs and signals. You will not recognize hunger until you are really, really hungry. And by this point, it's normally you are absolutely starving and your body wants to eat food, and it will binge, right? So please, 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 give your body the food that it wants and it needs, right? And really allow yourself to have food, because the more we suppress hunger, or the more we try and suppress hunger, actually the opposite will happen. We will feel even more hungry, we will eat a lot faster, we will eat a lot more, we will eat large quantities, and we will then feel all the guilt and all the shame afterwards. So, like I said, we always try to suppress hunger, and actually, hunger is life. Hunger is life. So, please, if anything, please take away from this video Try and eat before you are hungry. And it sounds silly because you might think, well, why would I eat when I'm not hungry? And it's because if you are trying to stop binge eating, your body doesn't actually, it's not actually speaking to you properly because you haven't been listening to it. So actually, when it's really, really, really hungry, actually, it's giving you a big sign to say, listen to me. Stop, listen to me, help. You are not listening to me previously. This is a huge sign to say stop. And I really want you to all recognise as well, if you are binge eating, it's your body looking after you. I know it doesn't feel like it. I know it doesn't feel like it. I really, really get that. I've been there myself. It doesn't feel like it at the time, but actually it's your body, you know, using food as a coping strategy. So there's probably other things that are going on in your life. I can guarantee there will be, because there's different there's lots of different reasons why you might binge eat or why you might emotionally eat. There are there are differences to those two things. But if you are binge eating or you are emotionally eating, I can guarantee there's other things going on as well. So this is a quick video. I only do short and sweet, but I hope you got a lot of value out of that. Give me a hashtag replay if you watched this video. I will hop on again next week and do another live next week. Like I said, I will be asking some group experts as well, not group. I'll be asking. I can't get my words out. Sorry. I will be speaking to other experts as well, seeing if they want to come on live with me. I did have Christine the other week. That was really nice to chat with her. Also, what did I want to tell you? Yeah, also, I've got my group program starting in a few weeks' time. So if anybody's thinking about, you know, like getting a better relationship with themselves, their body and food, reach out to me. You know, a group program is a great way, you know, to have other people there with you, have a support network. We've now got a 24-hour group chat, which is going to be great. And yeah, so if anybody wants to know more information, just send me a message and I will send the details. So like I said, I will see you next Tuesday. Give me a hashtag replay, give me a comment, say hello. I love to hear from you. And yeah, and I will see you next week. Bye for now. Mwah.